There is a subtle illusion in the human mind. A deep expectation, almost invisible, yet incredibly powerful. The idea that one day, something will suddenly unlock within you. Like an inner door finally opening. As if life will at last become clear, simple, and obvious. But that moment does not exist. And more importantly, it was never necessary. In the path of inner mastery, you learn a more grounded truth. There is no magical turning point. There are only repeated adjustments of the soul and the mind. Small realignments. Quiet returns to what is right. Again and again. Without spectacle. Without immediate promises. Without external validation. The untrained mind searches for an event. It wants to be transformed by something outside itself. But the awakened soul understands something different. It understands that nothing from the outside can do your inner work for you. Everything begins with the conscious repetition of your states, your choices, and your thoughts. And what you repeat becomes who you are. Not symbolically. Structurally. Deeply. Every thought accepted without awareness leaves a mark. Every action repeated becomes an inner direction. Every silent surrender weakens your center. And every return to presence strengthens your axis. This is how a human being is shaped. Not through sudden revelations, but through an invisible discipline of attention. True spiritual change does not look like an explosion. It looks like the gradual drying up of what is unnecessary. A slow purification of what scatters the mind. A progressive simplification of the inner world. And in this process, nothing is spectacular. But everything is real. Because the soul does not grow in noise. It grows through consistency. Through returning. Through remaining faithful to a direction even when nothing seems to respond. The place where most people give up is precisely where transformation begins. Not when you feel something, but when you continue to act rightly without depending on how you feel. That is mastery. Not controlling the external world, but no longer being a slave to your inner movements. No longer being driven by every fluctuation of your mind. No longer confusing emotion with truth. And little by little, something changes. Restlessness loses its authority. The mind ceases to be a master, and becomes a tool. A tool in service of a deeper direction. And in that inner silence, you realize something fundamental. You are no longer waiting to be transformed. You are already disciplining yourself through the transformation itself. Not an event. A living practice. A coherence between what you know, what you choose, and what you become. And this is where true self-mastery begins. When you are no longer searching for change, but have become the very process of change itself. There is an invisible law within the inner life of every human being. A law that cannot be seen, yet is constantly at work. You do not become what you decide once. You become what you repeat without awareness. In the mastery of the mind and the soul, this is fundamental. Because every repetition is not neutral. It leaves an imprint. A subtle direction etched into your being. At first, you still believe you are choosing freely. But gradually, the mind creates pathways. Invisible grooves. And the more a path is traveled, the more automatic it becomes. The more automatic it becomes, the more it disappears from conscious awareness. And what was once a choice becomes a nature. This is how the soul is shaped. Not in a single moment, but through silent accumulation. In this process, there is nothing spectacular. Yet there is something profound. Every repetition is a form of unconscious meditation. A directing of your inner energy toward a specific destination. And what you repeat without vigilance becomes what you inwardly inhabit. This is why most human beings do not fully understand their own trajectory. They believe they are acting in the present moment. But in reality, they are living the consequences of old repetitions. And within this understanding, a responsibility emerges. Not guilt, but clarity. Because if everything is repetition, then every moment becomes an opportunity for reconfiguration. Every action becomes a potential turning point. Not immediately visible, but real. Always real. From a deeper spiritual perspective, habits are not merely behaviors. They are alignments or misalignments with your inner center. Some bring you closer to your axis. Others scatter your energy. But most of the time, you do not feel it in the moment. You only recognize it afterward, when the distance has already been created. That is why inner vigilance is essential. Not mental tension, but calm presence. A quiet observation of what you repeat without thinking. Because what you do often becomes what you are effortlessly. And what you are effortlessly becomes your inner world. Then the real question changes. It is no longer simply, what am I doing? But rather, what am I feeding within myself through what I repeat? And when this question is lived deeply, it transforms the way you live. Now, take a moment to absorb this. Not as an idea, but as a mirror. And if this message resonates with you, do not simply let it pass by. Try to embody it, even slightly, tomorrow. One conscious repetition. One different action. And observe. Because real transformation always begins with what is simple, but repeated. And if you would like to continue exploring this kind of inner understanding, subscribe to the channel to continue this journey, and leave a like if you support this work and this path. It is not intensity that transforms you. It is conscious repetition. There is a stage in every inner transformation that almost no one understands until they face it themselves. A silent space. Without signs. Without answers. Without validation. A place where everything seems suspended. As if nothing is happening. And it is precisely here that the mind begins to waver. Because it no longer knows what to measure. It no longer knows what to expect. It no longer knows how to interpret the silence. But from a deeper perspective, this silence is not an absence. It is an invisible maturation. A hidden work of the soul and the mind. Where nothing can yet be seen, everything is already being built. The roots of your future stability are forming in the unseen. Your inner identity is reorganizing itself quietly. Your old reactions are slowly losing their authority. And new pathways are beginning to emerge within you. But you cannot see them yet. And that is why so many people give up here. Because human beings are conditioned to believe what they can observe. Not what they are building without immediate proof. And yet, all inner mastery rests upon this ability. To continue without confirmation. To remain committed without feeling progress. To move forward without visible rewards. This is where the true discipline of the soul begins. Not by forcing movement, but by remaining aligned within the unseen. Without allowing doubt to scatter you. Without giving up simply because the mind sees nothing. For the mind only sees the surface. It never sees the silent construction taking place beneath. And yet, that hidden construction determines everything. What you repeat during these empty moments becomes the structure of your future inner life. Every thought sustained despite doubt. Every action maintained despite the absence of results. Every return to your direction despite confusion. All of it leaves an imprint within you. And builds a stability that nothing external can provide. This is how you move through the invisible plateau. Not by searching for signs, but by becoming steady in their absence. And then, one day, without being able to say exactly when, something changes. It is not spectacular. It is subtle, but irreversible. What was once effort becomes continuity. What was once struggle becomes silence. What was once confusion becomes inner clarity. But it is not a miracle. It is the natural consequence of what has been sustained in the unseen for long enough. So true transformation is not about seeing results. True transformation is becoming someone who can walk through silence without losing themselves. And within that silence, something deeper appears. An inner stability that no longer depends on the external world. Now understand this. The inner life is not transformed by intense moments. It is transformed by what you are capable of maintaining when nothing responds. That is where the soul is disciplined. That is where the mind is purified. That is where direction becomes stronger than doubt. And if you can remain in that process, then you are no longer waiting for change. You are already becoming the change. If this message resonates with you, do not let it fade away as a simple listening experience. Try to live it, even once, in your daily life. One simple action. One conscious repetition. In silence, without validation. And observe what it does to your mind. And if you want to continue moving forward on this path of inner understanding and self-mastery, subscribe to the channel to stay connected to this flow of reflection, and leave a like if you support this direction and this work. Because true transformation always begins where there is still no sign that it has begun.